Now, we all have vocal cords. We all have mouths. And it seems like then communication should be easy, right? No. No, that doesn't work out that way. So, communication to me is like mixing up chemicals. Sometimes it's fruitless. You know, you're sitting in the lab and you mix all this stuff up and nothing happens. Sometimes it leads to exciting discoveries like penicillin or the polio vaccine. Sometimes it just blows up. And what we want to do is lessen those blow-ups and invite exciting discovery. So we're going to cover the brain science of communication. We're also going to talk about ways to create communication that gets through, and I'll tell you why that's important about that getting through, what you were talking about getting through. 2 powerful communication formulas. I've created these formulas that are helpful to getting through in difficult and uncomfortable situations, like if you need to say that. And your communication style, because we all communicate in our own style. I have my own unique spin on that, which I call actor types. You heard that I was an actor for several years, and I wrote for the soaps for a while, so I combine a lot of this into what I do now. And then we're going to talk about body language and vocal tips if we can. So it's a full slate. A little bit about me. You heard about this. Coaching for all this, like, what I want to point out to is this 3rd bullet, FKA shy. Anybody have any idea what that means? Formerly known as. Shy was my literal nickname growing up. That's me. The one on the right, looking away from the camera with her toes pointing in. That is you, like this was me and my sister growing up. You were to meet my family. My mother would introduce you to her 2 daughters. And she would say, hi, this is my daughter Donna. This is my daughter Shy. That was me. I was incredibly shy, but it taught me so much about communication. And I bring that, and it taught me how painful it is not to be able to communicate. So that's what I bring to this work. George Bernard Shaw, the single most thing that you forget about communication is the illusion that it's been created. You know, so we think that we're communicating. All of these communication misses, we think we're communicating. Like I said, we have this mouth, we have this vocal cords. What's going on? Let me tell you what's going on. We have 3 brains. Anybody know this theory about the 3 brains? Hold up 4 fingers, great. 3 brains. Okay, here's the way the 3 brains work. We have the lizard brain. We've heard people talk about the lizard brain. That's our oldest brain, and it's our brain stem. And that's what reacts. The lizard reacts to things. And the lizard reacts because it's instinctual, wants to protect itself. It wants to be safe. And us as humans, we have that same situation. We want to be safe. Then what happens is our second brain is our monkey brain. You know, our monkey brain, and we've heard talk about the monkey brain, it's like chatter, chatter, chatter. So the monkey brain is really emotional. It takes what the lizard feels. I mean, because the lizard will say, this is safe, this is not safe. And the monkey will say, yeah, you know what? I feel like it's not safe because it reminds me of my old boss. And my old boss always made me feel unsafe. So that's what the monkey does with the communication. And then we have our human brain, the 3rd part of our brain, which is our rational brain, our thinking brain, our logical brain. And that human brain thinks. So that's the perfect world. That's how our brain is set up. It's great. And we are the only ones that have that thinking, logical brain. That's excellent. But what happens in communication is we are not dealing with people of logic. We're dealing with people that are almost 100% emotional sometimes. So we're dealing with emotions. And that's why so many times that communication doesn't work. Because, like you said, you're not dealing with this logical person. And this is what our brain looks like on communication. The lizard reacts, the monkey feels, doesn't get through to the logical brain. So when we're talking about when you think you've said something and that other person doesn't hear it, what they're hearing is an emotional reaction to what you said, which then blocks off their logical, rational part of the brain, and it makes them not be able to interpret it. And it's a really interesting brain science fact that what happens is hormones start to get secreted, and it shuts down the way that the brain thinks. And I literally can't understand what you're saying. So we really need to, so what do we need to do? We need to fix that. In our brain, because what our brain has been doing is it has a threat. Our brain is either thinking that you're threatening them or you're rewarding them. And that's what it really wants to know, whether it's a threat or whether it's a reward. And if it's feeling rewarded, it's going to feel great. I love you, I want to go towards you. But if it's feeling threatened, I'm not going to be able to understand you. I'm not going to listen to you.